Thanks. Congratulations, Ken Kreitzer, Canvas Media. Quinn, do you want to start? Just take us through the kick.
Yes, sir. I mean, I'm just so thankful for the coaches and for this team putting me in a position to be able to do that. This team fought so hard all season, and especially this game. And I'm just so grateful. We battled, and just be able to go out there and that came out there. Was really blessing, and it's so great to get that one.
Leo, just tell us about the defense. I mean, you made so many stops. You forced, I think, 9 punts today. I think you had 16 tackles. Just tell us, and then you made the goal line play in the 3rd and 3 in the second overtime.
Coach Woody always does a great job. And these CSC games are big games, especially against Navy. And I think the guys on the team just took that to heart and wanted to step up. And Calvin Cumming made that huge play on the goal line, get the ball out. D-Rich laid on it and held strong. And I couldn't be more proud of this team and this defense. The way we progressed this year, it was awesome, and I'm so happy for us.
Markel, you want to just tell us about your run in the first overtime?
So first I just want to start off by talking about the defense and how hard they played, and like you said, forcing the punt 9 times, like that's incredible. So they continuously kept giving us a chance to score, and I'm just grateful for getting the chance to go in there and score. And I really want to talk about my brothers who helped me and cleared the way for me to have that touchdown in overtime. And the biggest thing for me was just how we didn't flinch. We responded in overtime. First play out there, we went and scored. Then, like you said, the big fumble, the recovery, holding on. So I just think it was a culminated thing where we all just came together and won the game.
Okay, just tell us about the game. It was a start for you. We didn't know. When did you find out you were going to start, and what was the plan kind of going into the game? It seemed like you were passing. You really weren't running the full back today.
Yeah, so we kind of put together a plan, a couple weeks ago on the bye week, and just really came in knowing that whoever plays was going to have a good plan to go in and try to execute. There was, I knew probably a couple weeks ago that I was probably going to, I didn't know I was going to start, but I was going to play a lot. And then we went out and practiced, and, everybody just had to come in and give it, their best effort every day, and everybody did. And, it just kind of happened with personnel in the first play that I happened to be under center on the first down.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Leo, can you talk about the emotion of the game after Quinn's kick goes through and the celebration? You see cadets rushing the field, and your teammates are celebrating. Can you talk about what that was like for you guys?
It's pretty surreal. It's something you always kind of dream of growing up. I'm sure a lot of people in this room probably watched Army Navy game growing up. And just to actually be out there and feel that feeling of a win in overtime. Quinn made a great kick, 2 kicks, 1 assist into overtime, 1 to win it. It's just a phenomenal feeling. Indescribable, really. I'm so happy with this team. I'm super.
Quinn, I saw you taking a lot of warm-up kicks in 3 games. Can you talk about mentally going through what's going through your mind for this game and 2 kicks and how you got into that the right mindset?
Yes, sir. It's obviously a big moment, but I try my best just to put that aside. We do a lot of mental work, social team group, training, and all that. And just being able to block everything out, trust your swing, and let the protection and help figure out your holders down for a wonderful job in the operation, and just for the defense to stop the other team and the offense to put us in that position. They beat that job so easy. So all I do is just go out there and not even think.
Markel, just one question about sending the seniors off to the win as an underclassmen. Can you talk about how what the locker room was like after the game and that feeling?
So the locker room, the energy was immaculate. Like you can't really describe it, but I'm just glad that I could send the seniors out with a win. That was definitely the goal here, to send the seniors out with a big win. But I think the biggest thing for me is just seeing their faces once we won the game, and all the hard work that we put in time after time. As we went through trials and tribulations at times during the season, the seniors never gave up on us, and we never gave up on them. So I think that was the biggest thing for me personally, was just seeing their faces after we got that win. It meant a lot.
Leo, first half, they had a couple of good drives, but they didn't score the first 2. They didn't feel in the third one. Talk about that. You guys see the bend a little bit, but obviously you didn't break.
I mean, that's something Mark Well actually says a lot, just bend, don't break. And, you know, Navy's got a good team, they've got a good offense, they've got some players, and obviously they're gonna make some plays. But as long as, like you said, we don't break and don't give up that big one, that was what mattered, and that's what was able to give ourselves a chance to win the game.
In the back.
Leo, if you can talk about the swing of emotion, I mean, Navy's about to score, maybe go up, and all of a sudden you get the fumble, and then you guys realize you have a chance to win this extra possession. What's that like, and as a team to go through that and then be able to come out on top and get a game win out with that under those circumstances?
No doubt. I mean, that's just football. But I was obviously super happy that that happened, and I don't think that we really necessarily thought they were going to score when they were down there. And that's all it takes, just one little play, and the whole game switches like that. And obviously, we're really happy it did.
Right there.
Hey, this is Chris Nadell from Radio in Baltimore for number 15. Have you ever had a kick like that in your career in high school, or what did you get yourself? How did you clear everything out with all the noise?
Yes, sir. I had a kick just like that early in the season against Troy, 42-yarder, left hash, wide right. And that was really tough to overcome, let the team down that way. But I can't speak enough to this team, this coaching staff, the entire program for putting the trust in me to put me out there in that position again. And I'm just really grateful for just a bit of redemption to get that for the team, trying to bring.
Back up.
Can you talk about what does it mean to play in the first overtime Army-Navy game and coming out as the winner?
So anybody specifically?
For all of you guys.
Okay. I mean, like I said, that's something you could dream about. It's a huge game. You know, that it's the only game today. Everybody's got their TVs on. But we try to forget about all that. Just play as hard as we can. Believe in ourselves and this team and these seniors sitting out on a high note. Especially just like what a wonderful way to do it in overtime game winning field goal.
Kind of to go off of that, I think the biggest thing for us is that, like with the defense making that stop, making that fumble, that we didn't fold, we didn't flinch. I think that was the biggest thing for that win, is that whenever the lights came on, when it was overtime, we thought it was just another drive in the first quarter, and we handled it that way. And I think that was the biggest thing for us, was how we came back and just didn't let adversity control the outcome of the game.
Good job.
Hey, Cade, Joe Icono with GoBlackKnights.com. Talk a little bit, similar question to what they asked Markel about, but you are a senior, and going out with a win, especially after what happened last year. If you look back on your career, the injury when you were younger, having to fight through, being a starter, not being a starter, getting a start in your Army-Navy game, your last football game, putting on the Army uniform, what does it mean to you to walk away with this big win over Navy at the end of your career?
I think they touched on it. To play a game of this magnitude and the rivalry that it is special. And the game kind of goes how I feel. My career's gone here. You keep your head down and you keep working. And when you do that, good things are going to happen. I can't say enough of these guys to my left here and everybody in that locker room. Just how hard they play. Now, these games, they just take a life of their own when you play in them and kind of the spirit of the game. It's incredible to really feel it, and it just takes shape of its own. And to go out on a win like this one and be able to contribute in plays was a blessing as well. But just like what these guys said, it means everything to go out and win this game. And just how tough this football team is, and it's just I think it's just an incredible way to end it here.
A couple more before we go to Coach. Leo, not sure if you're in on punt block or not, but what was, and anybody can answer this, I guess, after really not a lot had gone right in the first half other than defense, what was the emotion like on the sideline after you guys got that punt block for a touchdown?
No, that was pretty incredible. The guy who did it was Noah Short too. And, he'd been working all week at that. He was behind Jimmy actually, but Jimmy Charlo had he hurt his hip or something earlier in the game. But Noah Short got the shot, and he's a freshman, and obviously that's awesome for him. And I think Jabril Williams was the guy who recovered it, and he's also a freshman. And just to see a bright future in the team, and then to step up and make a big play like that in a big game was just it was awesome. It was incredible, and I'm so happy for him.
Over there.
Ken Podolak, Amped Up Sports. Guys, congratulations to each and every one of you and your teammates. Great show today. two brief questions, one for Leo, then one for Kate. Leo, is playing Navy like playing your own offense? And Kate, what will you and the seniors take away from this program as you go to your next steps?
It is similar to our offense. And, you know, obviously all spring we work against them, get a lot of reps against them. So it's definitely nice to have that experience going to the game. It's not all, you know, brand new, especially against Air Force as well. It's kind of similar stuff. So that definitely helped us prepare for this game, and not a whole big change of assignment stuff than what we're used to. So it's helpful.
Yeah, and I think what I'll take from this program and the culture that has been built here is just how hard you have to work to put yourself in a position to have the big moments like we had today as a team. When I look at the faces that made plays today, and then look at everybody else that was on the sideline excited and getting everybody into the game, like the amount of work that it takes to get to that point is incredible. And I think when I graduate here, that's what I'll take with me, is how much work it takes to put yourself in that position to, you know, when the lights are on, you have to make the plays, and I think that's what I'll take.
Well said, thanks, guys.
Lee, I don't know if you've been told or not, I haven't, but you've been named the MVP by the Penalty Sports Association, MVP of this contest. Can you get any thoughts on receiving that honor?
I mean, that's awesome, but I feel like really, I'm just more happy for this team than anything. And to send out the seniors the way that we did, I know that means the world to them. I'm so happy for guys like Mark Well and Connor, who worked so hard and put this team ahead of, like, in front of themselves, and just giving this program their all. And just to send them out like that is amazing.
We'll do two more, Emma.
You guys had very special uniforms for this game, and the way that this all went down, the way it finished, kind of poetic justice to the Iron Soldiers. Do you feel that the way this game finished, the way you played, really embodied and did justice to those that you were honoring?
I think the uniforms every year have been unbelievable, and the stories behind the units that we represented. And I think today, the way, you know, it's just fighting to the last play, and that's what we did today, and I think that's what that unit's about. And going out the way we did today, I think it is poetic justice, the kind of the way it ended. And I think I'll leave it at that.
Anything else? Ken, to wrap it up.
Okay, just tell us a little, your future in the Army, your branch, and what do you take from your football career that's going to help you serve in the Army?
There's a lot, but I'll try to keep it short. So I branched field artillery, and I think after the game there was a ton of people coming up, and like people that are overseas currently that come in, how much this kind of their parents are here or whatever, and kind of how much it means to the Army in general. And I think, you know, we're going to be on that same team hopefully in a few short months here. I'm sure those will go fast, but I think just what I'm going to take is just the people and relationships I've made and how they've affected me over 4 years and how much I've grown as a person. I think that I've been prepared as well as you can be, anybody that graduates from this institution, to be able to go lead soldiers, and I'm excited to do it.
Thanks, everyone. Coach Monken will be next.
Thanks, guys. And of course was Army senior quarterback Cade Ballard, Markel Johnson, who had the touchdown run in overtime, Leo Levin, 16 tackles, and Quentin Maritzky, the field goal that's going to go down in Army-Navy history. It's one of the great moments for Army. Army won rushing the ball 125 yards.
Oh, I know.
One rush by, well, until,
And one was 25.
and what, 2 rushes by fullbacks, if you call Markel a fullback.
Right.
He's about 50 pounds under the standard at Army. What happened, was Jacoby hurt you then?
Yeah.
I saw him after the game, he was
Right.
great. And Tyson played about only sparingly.
Yeah. Markel's a little more like some of the fullbacks that like Navy's shifty.
Well, what kind of the normal, Jacoby got described as a guard this year. But one of the coaches, I think it was the coach at Troy, said, you know, Jacoby's really a guard playing fullback. How you doing? There's the Army 153 yards of offense.
As Eric Russell used to say, had them the whole way. What a win. What a game. First of all, just credit to the Navy team and how hard they fought. That was 2 football teams that fought just as hard as they possibly could. And I've said this to many people when they ask me what's different about this game. The difference is the players. There's places that have great crowds like I looked around and every seat was full in that place. It was awesome. What a great crowd. And there's stadiums like that every Saturday afternoon around the country. What's different in this game is the players. Every one of those players and every one of those young people that were sitting up in the stands that are their classmates have made a pledge to serve this nation and to perhaps pay the ultimate price for all the rest of us who haven't made that pledge. And that's what makes this game different. And it makes the way they play this game different. They are fighting as hard as they can on every snap, and that's both sides. Both tough kids, tough people that care so much about who they represent. And it feels like every single play that the game is hanging in the balance. That's the intensity of this game. And it was fought that way from start to finish. I still don't know how we won. But our guys just found a way. They just found a way. And but credit to the other team, because they fought and battled. They gave themselves a chance to win. And we're just fortunate that the ball bounced our way a couple of times when we needed to. But I'm really proud of our team, proud of our senior class. This wasn't a great season for us. We've become accustomed to winning a lot of football games and playing in the postseason, and we've won some Commander Chiefs trophies here, which is a great source of pride for our program and our academy. But this team never stopped fighting. They never stopped believing. And it's a credit to the senior class. 2 great captains and a great bunch of seniors, and they kept playing. And just somehow, some way, we found a way to get it done tonight. And I'm incredibly proud of our team and just respectful of this game and this rivalry and the other team and how hard they fought. And so it was an epic battle. It's one that I'll remember for a long time, probably forever. Just how we managed to win this game. So I guess with that, I'll let you fire away.
Coach, just take us through the overtime. You get a touchdown on the first play from Markel Johnson, the Navy answers, and then they put the pressure on, get to the goal line to stop the third and 3, get the fumble, and then you set up for Quinn's kick, which he made and talked about.
So we ran the power play to the left, and the guys blocked that play really, really well as we probably ever blocked it. And Markel he's not been the regular starter, hasn't played a whole lot this year, but he's really just got a knack for running the football from that gun stuff and the zone plays and the power plays in the gun, and so we've given him a chance to do that some this year, and he's had some good runs, and that was really a great run. Ran through there and was able to get it into the end zone, and our guys were obviously very excited, and it's hard going first in overtime because you want the other team to go first, so you know just exactly what you need to do on that possession. So to score a touchdown in the opening possession was really important and key. And then Navy, they came out there and battled. They got themselves in a third down situation, made a really good run, got a first down, made another couple of good runs and got it down there inside the 5-yard line, and that play on the goal line, I couldn't see it on the replay. I mean, I couldn't see the ball and how it came out, but just somehow the ball got loose and we hit that thing like we needed to, and somebody was there, Johnny, on the spot to get it, and then I said to the offensive staff on the headset, I said, let's score a touchdown. Let's not put this on the kicker. Let's go score a touchdown. And as it was, Navy, who's got a really good defense and did a great job defending us tonight, stopped us, and I said on second down, I said, if we get in a third and long situation, let's get the ball in the middle of the field. So we ran really the same play to the right on second down. We didn't pop it out of there, so we ran the same play going to the left. And we sent word into Cade, who did a really good job and centered the ball for us. And Quinn Moretsky went out there and nailed the field goal. And that was a clutch field goal he made in regulation to tie it up. It's a huge field goal. So that's a guy that just a few weeks ago at Troy had a walk-off field goal opportunity and missed it. And so, he didn't let that affect his kicking tonight. And let me tell you, that's a big kick. You go out there in the Army-Navy game, there's I don't know how many million people watching, and nail that field goal to tie it up and then do that in overtime. That's a clutch play.
Coach, just maybe tell us a little bit about the defense. It's grew so over the season, played very well the last couple of games. You had Leo Lowen at 16 tackles today, and then you have a goal line stand in the overtime. The defense really improved over the season.
They did. We've really just, I think, been playing solid defense for, I don't know, probably since the month of November, maybe even a little earlier than that, into that stretch there. We started out, we had a tough start, 1-4. That's a terrible way to start the season. And we won a couple in a row there in the middle. And then we lost 2 really close games. The defense played well, continued to play well, and they have improved. And, we've tackled better. We didn't do that very well. You heard me agonizing about our missed tackles early in the year. We missed some tonight, but they have played better. And we did a really good job stopping them at times, and other times, they made some plays on us. They had they were running a power read where they jet sweep that guy across, and they were handing it off some, and they were getting the edge on us and getting some good yards there. They hit that trap for 77 yards, and we didn't spill the trap, and they blocked it up and knocked the guy out of there and creased us. And those were plays. That big play could have cost us, but I think our defense has played tough and played well, and Nate Woody's an excellent defense coordinator, so they have improved.
Coach, just on offense, you decided to start Cade Ballard today. It seemed like you didn't have the fullbacks available. Buchanan didn't play. Tice Riley only a couple of plays. Seemed like you really had to change your offense today.
Well, if you look at the last 3 seasons, and this one's not going to be a whole lot different. We had, I don't know what the math is, 48 rushes for 125 yards. So what is that?
2.6.
2 point something?
2.6.
It's been our average now for the last 4 years. We're averaging just over 2 yards a rush against them. They got a really good run defense. They got a really good defensive coordinator. The kids play really hard. And so we felt like we needed to change up things a little bit. We ran a lot of shotgun stuff. And so Cade, we felt like doing that was going to give us the best chance. He's a good football player, and we had a plan to throw the ball some, and we tried. We weren't real successful there either. When you average over 3 years and you're looking at it, you say we average 2.2 yards a carry. Going into this game, we're like, okay, let's try something different, because that's not working. Well, ended up right there with our average, but good thing we got enough points to win.
Coach, you had a moment with Marquel Broughton after the game where you climbed up to the ledge and had some time with him. Can you talk about that a little bit and what you meant to the team and your relationship with him? It seemed like it was pretty special.
You know, Marquel Broughton's a really special kid. He means a lot to this team, to this academy. He means a lot to me. I don't know that I've ever been around a young man on a football team that's been more dynamic as a leader than him. And to go through a senior season like he did, to have the disappointment that we had, to be able to sit up there on that wall and see his teammates and classmates celebrating together, and to see the scoreboard in our favor in the biggest game of his career, in the fight of our lives. I mean, just to savor that moment is pretty special. And you know, I just jumped up there to kind of savor it with him, and just tell him how much I love him, because I do. I love that kid. He's a special young man, and the soldiers that he serves in the Army, they're very fortunate to be able to get him and to have that guy lead them. They're going to love that guy.
What's up? Coach, congrats. You talked all season about the turnover battles and winning that. Today you won, theoretically 1-0, but of course you had to block also for a touchdown. Can you talk about that then?
Last year in 2021, all FBS football games were won. I should say, when one of those teams won the turnover battle, it wasn't tied, but somebody had one more turnover than their opponent. 78% of those games were won by the team that had at least one more turnover than their opponent. So the turnover battle is the most important statistic in football. So obviously that made a huge difference for us today. The fumble down there in the goal line, but the block punt, I mean, that Sean Saturnio deserves credit for that. He's our special teams coordinator. He comes up with a plan every week to be able to free a guy up. And we blocked a couple of punts this year. We had 2 punts this year that we just flat missed. We had guys right in front of it, the ULM game and then the Air Force game. And we had guys, and he just does a tremendous job of coaching those teams. And so that was a huge play in the game, obviously.
Was Noah subbing for Jimmy on that play, or was Noah in the hole on that play?
He was. Sal, I tell you what, man, I give you credit. I don't give you credit all the time, but I give you credit for that. Jimmy got hurt on defense, and he just couldn't go full speed. And so on third down, I asked him, I said, do you need somebody to go for you? And he came out and sent Noah in. And Noah Short's a really fast player. And he just timed it up. He had been in there earlier on another block for Jimmy. But he just timed it up perfect, and he came scot-free, and Jabril Williams from my hometown was able to.
How does he stay in bounds on that?
Well, we got to work on fumble recovery. But he was so excited. and he just managed to stay out, and thank God he stayed in. We don't win the game if he doesn't.
Hey, Coach, Chris Heidel from Harper's Radio Ball. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Do you wish you have an extra game to play? You know, I know you guys are 6-6, 5-3.
Yes.
Do you wish you could go to a bowl game?
Yes, I always want to go to a bowl game.
Yeah.
To me, bowl games are a great reward for guys that play football at this level. The bowl games are special. I don't care what bowl game it is. They're special. They're fun. And I'm disappointed that we're not able to go, but we didn't earn it. We didn't earn it. If we won one more football game this year, we would go. And we had chances. And the other team made enough plays to beat us. We didn't make the plays we needed to. And I'm disappointed, but hopefully maybe that'll be motivation for the guys that are on this team to come back and try to earn one next year. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to win a football game. It's hard to win a college football game. And it's really hard to win one in Army. I can tell you that. And so I'm proud of our guys for finishing the way we finished. We started out 1-4, and we're 6-6. So, you know, our guys found a way to battle and finish the season. And you know, though it wasn't from a win-loss standpoint or victory standpoint as successful as we wanted it to be. And you know, there's another trophy that is out in Colorado right now. We sure would like to have found a way to win that, but you know, through all that, our guys just kept fighting and kept battling, including tonight.
Gotcha. Hey, Coach Monken, goal line stand. You know, the last couple of games against UConn, UMass, your defense stepped up big on goal line stands over and over again. So when Navy gets down there in overtime, I know Leo said he didn't have any doubt in his mind you guys were going to come up with a stop. Was that pretty much the feeling on the whole sideline, the coaching staff? How did you feel at that point?
I had a knot in my stomach, like I was going to throw up when they're down there on the 2-yard line. I mean, that's agonizing to see that, because it's hard for them not to score down there. I mean, they're knocking on the door and you're back next to it. Well, that's hard and stop. But our guys have done it before, and so it's giving them some confidence. And it's just the will. It's just the will that their team and our team just fighting like crazy. And you know, their kids fighting to get into the end zone with that ball, and our kids are fighting to keep him out of the end zone. And so I'm glad Leo had said there was no doubt, but I just think we made a play. We made a play when we needed to, and that was the bottom line. I mean, it's that close to being a touchdown for them, and fortunately it went our way.
Okay, Coach, Matt Truckinelli with Herb FM Sports Radio. So what does this mean to send the seniors out with a victory?
This is a great way to finish. It's a great way for our seniors to end their careers and the pride that they'll take with them. This game lasts a lifetime for the seniors. Our senior class last year lost this game, went to a bowl game and beat Missouri, an SEC team, which is a big win in Army. This game last year will live with those seniors for the rest of their life. And not in a good way. There's remorse, and they're gonna be mad and disappointed, and that's what this game is. So for these seniors to be able to celebrate a victory and have that for the rest of their lives is awesome. And I'm glad for them. I'm glad that they were able to finish their careers 2-2 against Navy. And you know, it was obviously a tough loss last year, and they'll come back this year as big.
And if I may follow up with just one more question. So just to talk about, what does this first ever overtime game in this series between Army and Navy mean to the players, to the coaches, to the staff, to everybody?
I didn't know that it was the first overtime game until after the game, when it was announced, or somebody said, I guess one of the reporters that was interviewing me after the game on the field said something. I didn't know it was the first overtime game, which is hard to believe that in the modern era, since overtime started, that one of these hasn't gone in. But they are always so close. I mean, just look at these games. I've been here 9 years, and 7 of them have been 1 score or less. They're just battles. So I guess it was only fitting that the way these 2 teams battled tonight, it went to overtime. And like I said, we were lucky. We were lucky to get that thing to overtime. So I was looking down here, we got 125 yards rushing. So we didn't have 100 yards in regulation rushing. And we won the football game. That's hard to believe. Because the statistic I said about turnovers, the number 2 most common statistic, the team that rushes for 1 more yard than their opponent won 75% of the college football games last year. We weren't close, but we found a way.
Couple more, back there.
Yeah, Coach, at halftime, you guys had the lead on the scoreboard, but the stat sheet wasn't very friendly for you. Although after halftime, it looked like you started to make your own luck. Did you say something special to the team in the locker room at halftime?
No, I just, that talk is cheap. The talk doesn't do it. It's execution. I don't think either team had 100 yards in the first half. I could be wrong about that. When you guys can back me on that, we didn't have 100 yards. Wasn't close. I don't think they had 100 yards. I'm not sure. So both defenses were playing pretty good, and we had the blocked punt, which I said that at halftime when one of the reporters talked to me. CBS grabbed me right there as we were going into the tunnel. I said, if our offense doesn't do something in the second half, we're going to have a tough time winning this football game. And as it turns out, we didn't do a whole lot in the second half on offense, just enough. But guys made plays. Guys made plays when they needed to, and I just can't say enough about the fight in this team and our players. They never wavered. I mean, I look and I see their eyes on the sideline, and I can see their body language, and they just never stopped believing. They kept fighting. And that's what's awesome about this game. It's awesome about this team. And for this senior class, every one of those guys we got one guy graduating this coming Friday, Tyler. The rest of those guys are going to graduate in May. They're going to take command of soldiers. And they have to lead soldiers. And they will be in much tougher fights with stakes much higher than they were in tonight. And to be able to have that grit and that toughness and that belief as leaders, soldiers are going to follow them. And they're going to follow that lead. And that's what was on display tonight. And it wasn't just on our sideline. The other team was fighting that way too. That's what's great about this game and about these teams. And we want to win this game. We want to beat their pants off. I want to beat them every time we play. But I respect the fight that the competitors have in this game. Their guys, our guys, and it's what makes our military the best fighting force this world has ever known, because of people like that leading soldiers.
We're gonna do one more. Go ahead, Ken.
Coach, after the game, I saw the superintendent introduce Quinn Moretsky to General McGonville, the Chief of Staff of the Army. And then later I saw General Mark Milley going into your locker room. What does it mean when your players are recognized by the senior leadership of the military?
Pretty incredible. And so for a guy that doesn't wear the uniform, that's really that's a neat experience for me. For our guys, they wear the uniform. So those are the highest ranking officers in the United States Army, and they're being personally recognized by them. That's an incredible experience for those guys, and I'm grateful that they all come, that they're all here. We had the Secretary of the Army, the Army Chief of Staff, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, all in our locker room. It's pretty powerful. It's a game like no other, and it's great to win. It's really hard to lose. We've been on both sides of it, and I'm just so glad that we're on the winning side tonight. I'm incredibly proud of our team. I love our team, and just so glad they found a way to win tonight.
Thanks, everyone.
Be Navy.
The head football coach, Jeff Munkin. We'll have more later. Thanks for watching.